Hey there guys, welcome back, Ricky here. Alright, so today I'm going to try something I have never done before, and I'm going to repair a knife from A to Z. I recently have received a number of knives from Cutlery & More. Basically just called them up and say, hey guys, do you guys have any broken knives that are just sitting in the warehouse that are just collecting space that you can send me that I can repair? And so they sent me a few knives here, not a couple, more than a couple. And so this is one of them. This is a Shun Classic Santoku. And it's a beautiful knife, but let me show you the edge of this thing. And the previous owner, I don't know what he or she did, but it seems like that person probably cut into some frozen meats or something like that, or possibly some bone. And you can see there is a pretty big chip right here, and it's a size of, I would say it's about 2 millimeters deep, and then the tip is actually also pretty much gone. So. This knife had a few weeks of usage, and there's also a bunch of minor chips along the cutting edge here. So it's pretty beat up, not the worst case scenario of all the knives, but today I'm going to see how long it takes me to actually sharpen this thing, repair it, reprofile it. I probably will have to do some basic flattening as well because it is pretty far up, but we'll see. This will be one of the knives that I will be giving away as well. So I got a bastard file here. This is an ultra coarse or an extra coarse bastard file. Hopefully it'll work. I think that it should work. A lot of folks have been telling me that don't use whetstones to grind your knives down. The last time I did that took me forever. So I have a bastard file here, and if in case this doesn't work, I have my trusty Atoma 140, which should do the job. And I've got I was going to say Sirhirax. It's a Sirhirax. Sihiro CRX 320 for my course, which I will be using to after I reprofile the knife. This and the Chateau 20, which I don't know where it is right now because I'm shifting my studio around, will be used to actually clean the knife's edge, and then I will go through a sharpening session where I do it, put it on the 500, 1000, 5000, 6000 in a separate video. I suspect this will take me some time to actually do. So I don't want it to be like a 2-hour video for you guys. Okay, so my bastard file, I'm going to use this first. And yeah, and let's just go from there. Let's see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to have to clamp this down because the file is actually grabbing onto the knife's. I'll show you guys in a second here. So the file is actually grabbing onto the actual chip, which is giving me some problems here. So this should correct it, especially with another clamp. Okay, so there's my other clamp. And just as a reminder, my studio setup is not actually made for knife repair or knife repairs, so I don't have all the proper tools and everything lined up. So this is kind of just an unorthodox video for me. And let's see how I do. Okay, either I don't know how to use a bastard file, or this is grinding down very, very slowly, or because the file is still brand new. Okay, so it's coming down some. But maybe not as fast as I would like it. Okay, let's just keep moving. I eventually will grind down the edge enough. So what I'm trying to do is actually go back and forth between the tip and the heel, and so that I can keep the relative consistent profile that the knife has. But it's not easy. You know, I'm going to try something different here. I'm going to try the Atoma 140. And let's see how it works. And it's probably, again, the bastard file is probably the way to go, but I'm much more comfortable on the Atoma. And I understand the stone a lot better than the bastard file. But maybe try the... Yeah, that's okay. I'm going to use my Atoma. This should get the job done. Okay. Where's my stone holder? Alright, here we go. Now I'm wearing a glove on my left hand because I am dealing with a very damaged knife, and yeah, and I don't want anything to slip. You know, if I was using something that I didn't really was really familiar with, and I didn't want my fingers to get cut up. I can probably take off my glove now since I'm not using the bastard file. Okay. Okay, that's fine there. Much better. Okay, here we go. Alright, so what I'm doing now is I'm not spending too much time on any one side or the actual, you know, grinding it down perpendicularly. I'm basically just going back and forth every maybe 20 strokes so that I can get an even grind on both sides, and that'll help me with the flattening later if I need to reprofile the knife or reflatten the knife at the cutting edge. Okay, yeah, it's working much better than the bastard file. Okay, and also what you want to keep in mind is the more perpendicular you have your knife, the faster the knife will lose material. So you see me actually going pretty high. If you guys look carefully, my knife's angle is probably, I would say, 50 degrees or so, definitely more than 45. And I do that so that I'm grinding down the knife as fast as I can while maintaining an angle on it. Okay, it's looking pretty good here. Let me show you what it looks like right now. So there still is a very small chip right here. Pretty small. It's less than a millimeter at this point. It's probably half a millimeter deep into the cutting edge. And also, if you guys notice, I'm actually taking this opportunity to make this knife a little bit more straight. I like my profiles slightly straighter than rounded, and so I am doing less tilting and rocking on the belly area, and so hopefully that actually will give me a slightly straighter profile when this knife is done. I just think it actually cuts a little bit better in my personal taste. And so I'm using this opportunity to kind of refine my knife reprofiling skills as well. Okay. Okay, so I think I got most of that chip out. Just like one more time here. Alright, maybe another couple of rounds here and we should be done. And then I'll work on the tip. Okay, so the chip is gone, as you can see here. I'll wipe it down, show you. See, there is no more chip on the cutting edge, and it looks pretty clean. I actually really like the straighter profile here. And now the beak, or the tip, is it's missing about a millimeter as well. So now I'm going to focus on the tip. And normally, if you guys watch some of my other reprofilings, I actually work on the tip as I'm fixing the blade. But because this blade has such a big chip on it, you know, a 2mm chip, I want to focus on the chip and then work on the tip now. So with the tip, it's more or less pretty easy. It's essentially this is essentially another sharpening session, but I changed the angle a little bit. You know, normally my angles are a little lower. If you guys watch my sharpening sessions. So essentially this is a sharpening session with very steep angles. That way I don't have to worry about the knife losing too much material, and I am keeping the profile relatively the same as what it was before, and though it's a little bit flatter this time, which I like better. So for the tip, one tip for you, no pun intended, when you are sharpening the tip of any knife, whether you're refixing the knife or you are just sharpening it, use the opportunity to really sharpen around the corners and the edges of the stone, or in this case the plate. That way you can really focus your wear on the rest of the areas of the stone that you normally would neglect in a typical sharpening session. That's how I keep my knives or my stones flat. So I do that, and a lot of folks ask me, why don't I flatten my stones? Well, because I actually utilize the knife to actually flatten my stone during the sharpening process. So just a quick tip for you. This is kind of annoying me here, so I'll put this glove here so it stops knocking. Here we go. That's not gonna work. Okay. Here we go. And also right now, I'm actually not rocking the knife at all. My angle is very linear, very straight, and that way I can really get a nice crisp edge on the tip. Okay, so I pretty much got the tip corrected. The tip is now looking pretty good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to essentially go through a sharpening session on the Toma, go through the entire length of the blade so that I can really straighten out and clean up the edge so there's no wobble on the cutting edge at this point. There's a slight wobble, there's a slight flat spot right here where that ground was. That's okay. So now I'm going to just make sure that I sharpen and get the cutting edge to be even. Okay, so the knife is now slightly reprofiled, and it doesn't seem like I need to flatten the knife at all. The knife is actually still on a very good, very thin edge at this point, or the cutting edge is still at a very thin point of the knife. So yeah, and so yeah, I mean the reprofile is done. You can see here that it's pretty clean. Let me dry the knife off and show you guys. See how the cutting edge is very, very clean now. Yeah. And so that is the repair. So this knife here will be sharpened. I'm actually going through, maybe I'll go through a sharpening session as well. That way it's one long video for you guys to see everything, how I reprofile a knife and sharpen it. This is the 320 stone, and since I didn't soak the 1000 stone, I'm gonna throw it into a I'm gonna strop it. I'm gonna show you guys how good a strop is, just for the heck of it. So now I'm gonna put it onto the 320 stone, Now I can go straight from the strop, from the 140 to the strop, but that's kind of a big jump, and I don't want to do that right now. The knife has had enough trauma for the day. Oh, look at this beautiful 320 Cyrax stone. This is gorgeous. I love this stone. I love Cyrax stones. They are just really, really good stones. So now we are going to go through a typical sharpening session where I will sharpen, then I'll strop on the stone. Then before I finish, I will just go onto the strop, and I'll show you guys how sharp the knife can get. All right. So that was, you know what I should have done? Because the 140 produced a really coarse edge. You know what I'm gonna do? I should have done this before, but I'm gonna do a really quick strop, single strops on the 140 before I move on. I stopped to look up at the time to see how much time I have left, and I can't see how much time I have left before the camera shuts off. Just for sake of safety, I wanted to reset the camera up there. It has a 30-minute recording limit, and the camera that's recording the main footage does not have any recording limits. So, okay. Okay, so yeah, most of the burr is off now. We can move on. Okay, so now by doing it that way, I will lower the damage on this stone. Okay. Okay. Yeah, much better. What happened the first time I pulled on the stone, the knife, actually because of the really harsh burr or toothy edge, it actually gripped the stone and actually created a it kind of just didn't feel very good. But it's all gone now. Okay, so now we're going to go through some single strops. You know what? We'll go this way. Here we are. Okay, so I think we are done with the sharpening. I'm gonna show you guys the knife's edge really quickly here. Okay. So very, very clean. Yeah, and both sides of the edge is very, very nice right now. So that was very easy to do. I'm going to show you guys how clean the edge is at this point. Okay, so this is a knife sharpened on or fixed with the 140 and sharpened and touched up on the 320. Very, very clean. Okay, so very easy to do. Something that all of you guys can do as well. Okay, so now you guys see how clean the knife is. We're gonna go and just have some fun here. I'm gonna throw it into the strop, my leather strop here, with the NK green. I like this is I have two of these. One stays in my kitchen, one stays here in the studio, and I basically just leave it in the kitchen so that every 3 to 4 days I will just take my knives and just run it onto the strop, and that has saved me a lot of time from actually sharpening my knives on the stone. Okay. We'll let you sit there to dry. Here. Stropping is really not necessary, but it's really great for those who don't have a lot of time, but you're the type that wants to have a razor sharp edge every single day. This is a really good tool to have. Okay. Now for a quick cutting demo. Everybody always asks for these demos. That is clean. Just listen to that. That's always fun to do, right? What is it? Making it rain is what one of my few of my subscribers have said. Yeah, so there you have it. I mean, that knife, or this knife, it's that good right now. And it's practically a brand new knife. Let's try this again. Oh, oh my goodness, that is a nice edge. As you guys may know, I'm sure everyone who has turned on a TV or has been on Facebook or the internet lately, you guys have all heard about the Las Vegas shooting that happened past week. And as big as a tragedy as it is, there has been a recurring theme that keeps coming up, and it's the theme of heroes, right? People who have risked their lives to save others, or people who have given up their lives to save a loved one. And so for me, you know, this week has been a lot. I've had a lot of reflecting to do this week, and so, you know, for this giveaway, I thought, what could be, you know, what can I possibly do to thank the heroes in our lives? Because I think that for me, we don't get a chance to thank our heroes enough. And for me, you know, my hero for many reasons is my mother. You know, she raised myself and my brother and sister as a single mother. My mother was a single mother, and for many years after my father left, when we were at a very young age. And so she actually raised the three of us and was working full time, running a business. And so for me, she provided that security that only a mother could. And she sacrificed so much for me. And so for me, she's always been my hero. And so for this week, for this giveaway, and I don't want to get political at all. I don't want to get all sappy and what have you. But I want to give you guys, one of you guys, an opportunity to thank a hero in your life. And so this here is the Dow Strong Gladiator 8-inch chef knife. It's a beautiful knife. It's a knife that I've been using in my kind of in my studio now for about 6 months. And I've been using this particular knife in my home for about 3 to 4 months now. And it's a great knife. I've kept it very sharp. It's in very good condition. It's practically brand new. But I am going to give this one away. And I want to give it to your hero. So I'm going to give you, my subscriber, 2 knives. One for you and one for your hero. So you can decide who gets to keep which knife. That is up to you. But I really want to give you guys an opportunity to thank a hero in your life in a different way. So in the comments, I want to hear about your hero. It could be anybody, it could be anything, you know, anyone who has played a significant role in your life. And so just leave 5 lines, don't make it any longer than that. I've got hundreds of comments to read through every single day. So keep it, you know, at 5 lines if you can, and just tell me about your hero, how that person has you know, changed your life in some way, or what sacrifices that person has made. And I will pick a winner, and I will send you a message privately on YouTube, and that'll be it. Please believe me, a knife is not going to be enough to thank anyone who has been your hero, but it's a small token, and it's a small way, and it's also a different way to thank them. Rather than buying them flowers and saying thank you, you guys give them a knife that they can use for life, hopefully for a while. Yeah, and I think this would be just a little, yeah, it's a little special something you can do for the hero of your life. So good luck. I will read every one of your comments, as I do every single day. And thank you for being here, and I will have another knife repair hopefully within a week or 2. I don't know exactly when I will get the live stream up, just because of logistics in my home, and so a lot of things that I'm working on right now, not just in my home but in my studio, and just a lot of changes that are happening in my life right now. So I will do my best to get a live stream hopefully within a month. If I don't, then that's still okay. I still will have these repair restoration videos, hopefully at least once every other week. I'll do my best to get one a week out, but I can't guarantee that. But definitely at least one every other week. And so you guys can, you know, look forward to more giveaways if you guys don't win this one. Okay, well, thank you guys for being here, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.